Welcome to Hoops Talk 305 on FSPN, the weekly recap show for South Florida High School basketball. We're here every Sunday morning during the basketball season with a recap of the previous week's games and highlights, a player spotlight, and a coach's corner. I'm Uncle Muggs, and alongside me for this journey is none other than the head basketball coach for the legendary Miami Senior High School Stingrays, Mr. Alberto Govea. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about South Florida sports.
Coach, on the show today, we'll talk about last week's games and scores. We also have two feature games that we're going to break down. One was an instant classic between these guys right here, True North and Florida Christian. What a game. It came down to the last shot. And the second game that we're going to break down is Schoolhouse Prep against these guys, against Belém. And then in our final segment, we have a very special guest with us today, the head coach of the Belém Wolverines, Chachi Rodriguez, and he's going to talk about his coaching journey and a whole lot more. So stick with us to the end for that interview. And Coach, what do you think about having Chachi as the very first guest? I mean, he could be the answer to a trivia question one day.
That's great. That's great. Three-time state champion.
That's right. You were with him in one of those.
Yeah, Coral Reef.
Must be fun to have the
Good
ring.
times, yeah.
Must be nice.
Of course.
All right, before we get started, everybody, I need to mention a couple of upcoming events. First, on Tuesday, December 9th at 7:30 from the Asylum at the Miami High Gym, the Stingrays will take on their down-the-street rivals, the Tornadoes of Booker T. Washington. So coming out, and especially the Miami High alumni, all the old guys. And for those of you that have never been to the Asylum, I recommend that you take in a game, come out, experience the best atmosphere that there is for high school basketball in Dade County, and that's this Tuesday. I want to see all you old Stingarees out there, like my buddy Angel Coipel. Get all your boys to come out there, Papi Fresh, Chef Papi Fresh.
Chef Papi, is that a real chef?
Well, no, he's not really a chef. But, you know, just like every Cuban in this town, you cook a couple of pigs in la cajachina, and you want everybody to call you a chef.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, tell us about the tournament that will be taking place in your gym this month. And I see on Instagram, on your Instagram, Point Guard Club, that you're posting all the teams that are confirmed. And who's coming? I mean, who are some of the well-known ranked teams that'll be there?
I mean, we have some out-of-state teams like Roselle Catholic from New Jersey, and as well as Seton Hall Prep as well, and St. Peter's Prep from New Jersey. In Georgia, we have Langston Hughes High School. And from Miami, Riviera Prep, as well as Gulliver Prep and St. Brendan's. Some good programs coming out for the Miami Holiday Invitational.
All right, don't miss that one. That's December 26th through the 29th in that very asylum on the campus of Miami Senior High School. All right, Coach, this is the second, let's say, full week of games that took place in this 2026 season, and every team has played a few games already. Some have played 3 games, 5 games, and the next couple weeks before all the holiday tournaments start, we still have some very good competition, some local games that are happening here.
Yeah, definitely. Some big games coming up this week as we get into December, right before the Miami Holiday Invitational and some other invitationals out there. There's going to be some big top games, especially coming out starting this Tuesday with myself playing against Booker T. Washington. But we also have the state champs, St. Thomas Aquinas, having some big games as well coming up.
That's right. Let's get into the scores for this last week. And we have a lot of scores, guys, so stick with us. Let's start off with the state champs. Okay, St. Thomas Aquinas, the Raiders, they took on Pompano Beach, the Golden Tornadoes, and the Tornadoes were no match for the champs. St. Thomas beat Pompano 88-45 behind a 26-point performance by Blake Sandy and Nate Acias. He had 13 boards in that one.
Yeah, Sandy's a tough player. He's going to get to his, and he's going to get it quick. That's why it was a tough game for the opposite team of the state champs.
St. Thomas played at Cardinal Gibbons on Thursday, and the Raiders beat them 79-68. And on Friday, the two state champions faced each other, and that's Riviera Prep. And Aquinas lost to the Bulldogs of Riviera by 2 points, 71-69. Coach, do you think that was an upset? Is that
No, sir. No, sir. Coach Tony Shabazz is doing his thing over there alongside with his team. They are equipped for a run, a deep run, and they're a top team in the state of Florida, representing it well right here in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, you couldn't go wrong in that game, and the score proved it, a 2-point game. And that's what you expect from a couple of top-notch state champions. Now, last Saturday at the Thanksgiving Challenge, your team, the Miami High Stings, you guys took on Somerset Pines, and boy, 73-29. Tell us what was working for your team in that game.
Yeah, trust, rotating, and playing hard. That's it. We did well that game, and hopefully more to come with that game in the near future. But it was a lot of rotating, a lot of parts assembling to get that dub, and it was a fun game. Going away at Broward too, representing Miami, was always fun.
All right, then on Tuesday, you traveled to play against the Norland Vikings, and that was a big game for you guys, a big test. Last year, Norland made it to the regional finals only to lose to Blanche Ely, which, as we know, are the state champions. And last year, you beat Ely. And in this game, you guys didn't really get off to the start that you wanted to. You fell behind in the first quarter by 11 points. Tell us what you saw and how important it is to get off to a good start, especially on the road.
Yeah. Well, last year we beat Norland, not Ely. That was a little correction. But beating Norland at Norland is a tough place to win. They're well coached. They're well prepared. They have 2 transfers that came over from a different school, the point guard, and as well as their wingmen, and they are tough. They are seasoned, and they're ready to go. They're going to be a tough out and very tough at their home. And, of course, the multiple state champion legend coach over there at Norland, he's going to have them ready for you. So hopefully we get to see them again at the GMAC if we both get there, and it'll be fun. We usually see them once or twice a season, and I love Coach Lawton, and I appreciate him having us over. Hopefully we'll get him next time.
Coach, let's bring it back down and make a quick stop in Hialeah, where the I Matter Charter Knights played host to the JC Bermuda's Thunder on Monday. And Coach Blizio and the Knights, they walked away with a 1-point victory over the Thunder. Let me ask you, how important is it, and how does it affect the team to, either lose by 1 or win by 1?
Well, it's tough. You have to be prepared. You have to practice for those 1 minute, 2 minute quarters. And you have to learn to adjust what's going on in the game, be prepared for it, have your first option and your counter right away. Because in no time, you'll have no time left. So you have to be prepared, and coaches have to be prepared as well. Have their timeouts and what has been working during the game, have a mental note, share it with your assistants, and by the fourth quarter, you should be ready to know what to go with at that 1 minute.
I like that. In no time, you'll have no time left.
Correct.
You got to coin that phrase. I've never heard that before. Here are some more scores from Monday's schedule of games in Miami-Dade and Broward County. We previously recorded this, so we'll be right back to talk about those games after we play the highlights. On the scoreboard for Monday, December 1st, it was the I Matter Charter Knights that just edged out the JC Bermuda's Thunder 59-58. Both teams improve to 2-2 on the season. The senior Brian Benitez had 12 points on the game. Alexander Macias had 21 points, and Joshua Verdugo had 7 rebounds in the win for the Knights. The Florida Christian Patriots welcomed the LaSalle Royal Lions to their home court on Monday and beat them by 20. The next game for the Florida Christian Patriots is going to be against the True North Titans on Wednesday, and that's going to be the FSPN game of the week. You can watch that right here on FSPN. For the Royal Lions, their next game is also Wednesday against the Mater Bay Academy. The Westwood Christian Warriors welcomed the Southwest Eagles to their gym on Monday and gave them a 10-point loss. Despite the Eagles being up 14-10 after the first quarter, then Southwest didn't score any points in the second quarter. Ultimately, they lost by 10. The next game for the Southwest Eagles is going to be against Coral Park. They dropped their season record to 2-3, and Westwood Christian improves to 5-1. The Doral Academy Firebirds welcomed the Miami Christian Victors to their gym on Monday and beat them by 10, improving their season record to 4 wins and 2 losses. The Firebirds will play Terra Environmental next on Wednesday, and Friday, Doral will be live right here on FSPN against Coral Park. You can watch that at 7:30 on our YouTube channel. The Wildcats of Westland Hialeah welcomed the St. Brendan Sabres to their gym on Monday, and the Sabres gave them a shellacking. Westland Hialeah is having a hard time finding wins. They're 0-8 on the season. Meanwhile, the Sabres improved to 3 wins and 2 losses, and their next game is going to be Friday against downtown Doral. The Crusaders of Dade Christian welcomed the Schoolhouse Prep Wolfpack to their gym on Monday and gave them a 7-point loss. The Crusaders remain undefeated. Their next game will be Wednesday against Monsignor Pace. For the Schoolhouse Prep Wolfpack, they dropped to 3-1 on the season, and they'll play Belém Jesuit on Wednesday, and that's a game that you can watch right here on FSPN on YouTube. For the Wolfpack, it was Hartley that had 14 points. So did Jupiter. Alex Jimenez poured in 11 in a losing cause, and Gabriel Alonso had 22. He led the way for the Crusaders, but Mirkovic had 15 and Babic had 13 in a win. Coach, any surprises or comments on the Monday games?
Yes, I was there to watch Doral Academy go against Miami Christian. Coach Braxton's doing a great job over there at Miami Christian with them guards. They shoot a lot, and they get to the paint well as well. Also at Doral Academy, Coach Jason Sanchez, former NCAA coach himself, he's doing a great job over there at Doral and making those guys move at the call of his voice. So I watched that game. Doral won, and it was a tight one, but they pulled through. Great offense, great execution at the end. They held the ball to the right moment, got the right shot they wanted, and came through with the victory.
Nice. I met Jason the other day, the head coach for the Doral Firebirds. Super nice guy, down-to-earth guy. Hopefully we'll have him on here for an interview in the future.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at the games for Tuesday, December 2nd in Miami-Dade and Broward County. Okay, there was a lot of games on Tuesday. The first one, Monsignor Pace paid a visit to Don Sofer and Aventura and handed them an 11-point loss. It was the first win of the season for Monsignor Pace. They'll play Dade Christian on Wednesday. Don Sofer will play Sheridan Hills on Thursday, and they're 1-2. Andres Lopez had the hot hand for the Spartans, pouring in 31, and Serafin Osmolovsky had 16 points for Don Sofer. Lotadric Capers had 9 boards for the Spartans, and Gavin Looney had 7 rebounds for Don Sofer. And it was Andres Lopez with 3 assists, Osmolovsky with 3 assists for Don Sofer. The undefeated Eagles of North Broward Prep took on Cohea on Tuesday and beat them up pretty good. The next game for North Broward Prep will be against Archbishop McCarthy on the 9th at home, and the next game for Cohea, Ay Papa, will be at Sagemont on the road. Good luck. Felix Burros had 18 points to lead the way for the Eagles, and Francesco Borillo had 8 rebounds for the Eagles. The defending state champions, Cavalry Christian, took on Highlands Christian and took care of them pretty good, although the next 3 games for Cavalry Christian are very difficult. They have Stranahan, Sagemont Prep, and Riviera, all in that order, all state champs. The Warriors of Westwood Christian went on the road to face the Ferguson Falcons, who haven't won a game yet. The Warriors won by 5. Their next game will be at home on Wednesday against Reagan. Ferguson will have to wait until December 9th, next Tuesday, when they play Cohea to try to get their first win. Zamari and Mayar led the way for the Spartans. Zamari had 14 points. Mayer, the Hugh, had 7 rebounds. We have a few highlights of this game with Westwood visiting Ferguson. The undefeated Knights of Sunset took on JC Bermudas on Tuesday and beat them by 5 points. Sunset will play South Miami next at home. The Thunder will play Goldman on the road on Thursday. Brandon Lewis dropped 25 for the Knights, and Gabriel Perez had 12 rebounds. The Varela Vipers welcomed the Broncos from Homestead to their gym on Tuesday, beat them by 15. Varela will play South Miami on Thursday, and Homestead will play Coral Reef on Thursday. The Barracudas of Coral Reef were on the road to face the Reagan Bisons on Tuesday, and they beat them by 10 points. The next game for Coral Reef will be with Terra on Monday, and Reagan will face Westwood Christian on Friday. And this would have been a great game back in the 80s. Booker T against Edison. Booker T beat them by a lot. Not even close. Booker T will play downtown Doral on Thursday, and Edison will play Mast Academy on Thursday. Both Dumar Hernandez and Roger Carr had 12 points apiece for the Tornadoes. The Killian Cougars traveled north to Hialeah Gardens to take on the Gladiators. The Gladiators gave Killian their first loss of the season. Killian will play Pinecrest Academy on Thursday, and Goldman will visit the Gladiators next Tuesday. Robert Macias led the way for the Gladiators. He had 19 points and 7 boards in a big win for Hialeah Gardens. The red-hot Cavaliers of Coral Gables went down to Southridge to give the Spartans a visit, and they gave them a little whooping. The Cavaliers have won 5 in a row. Southridge drops to 1-1. They'll play Homestead on Thursday, and the Cavaliers will play Miami High on Friday. Dylan Janov led the way for the Cavs in this one with 23 points. The undefeated Panthers of Palmetto hosted the Lions of Mater Academy, and the Palmetto Panthers stayed undefeated. They'll have a tough game this Friday against Columbus at home, and Mater Academy will be on the road and face Florida Christian. Divine Savior went into the World Champions house and got beat up pretty bad. Columbus will be on the road on Friday against Palmetto, and the next game for Divine Savior will be at home against Schoolhouse Prep. The Golden Hawks of Miami Springs beat North Miami by 5 on Tuesday. Their next game will be at home against Hialeah Miami Lakes, and on Thursday, the Pioneers will take on Westland Hialeah. The Buccaneers of South Dade edged out the High Tides by 3 points. South Dade will face Homestead on Friday, and Miami Beach has a tough one against Miami Country Day on Friday as well. Rodney Holmes led the charge for the Buccaneers with 14 points and 15 rebounds. Nice job, Rodney Holmes. Dr. Kropp improved to 2-1 with a big win over North Miami Beach. They'll play the Hialeah Thoroughbreds on Thursday, and North Miami will play Morning on Thursday. Here's a rivalry game. The Coral Park Rams against the Southwest Eagles. No rivalry here. Coral Park really took it to Southwest, bouncing back after 2 consecutive losses. Coral Park will play Doral right here on Friday, live on FSPN. Southwest will play next week on Tuesday against South Dade. After 3 consecutive victories, Pinecrest Prep went down to play the Braddock Bulldogs that haven't won a game, but they have now. They lost to Braddock. Braddock will take on Ransom Everglades on Thursday, and Archbishop Carroll will host Pinecrest Prep on Wednesday, tomorrow. Coach, what did you think about all those games that took place on Tuesday? Any of them stand out?
Well, a lot of competitive games, some blowouts, but as the season goes on, there'll be more parity.
Our first FSPN Game of the Week breakdown is the Florida Christian Patriots and the True North Titans, and they played on Wednesday. Let's check out this video. Today we're going to recap FSPN's Game of the Week between the Florida Christian Patriots that came into this game undefeated to face the True North Titans in their own gym, the Coliseum. The Titans are also undefeated. Right from the tip, Florida Christian's trying to create a presence inside, and they do with a pass to Jermaine Ajiman. Then Jonathan Weir comes flying in there with a slam, and the Patriots starts draining threes from outside. They come back inside to Ahiman. And it was all Florida Christian Patriots in the first. And True North had trouble finding the bottom of the basket in the first period, but not the Patriots. It was inside to Jermaine. The Titans did show a little bit of life at the end of the first quarter, but it was all Patriots. Three-point land inside. And at the end of the first quarter, the Patriots are up by 8 on the home team. In the second quarter, nothing really changed. The Titans were missing shots from all over the place. Far away, close up, and it was all Patriots. They were running the floor, passing it to their big man underneath, getting fouls. The Patriots stretched the lead out to 10 points in the second period, and it looked like there was no stopping them. They owned the inside. They owned the paint. Florida Christian's length and height really exposed True North in the first half of this game. There were a few bright points for the Titans. Jeezy Swan was representing, but it was a 12-point lead for the Patriots. Now the Titans were starting to play a little bit of defense. A steal here by C.J. Gonzalez eventually gives it over to Jovanovic for a couple points and a foul. And the Titans maybe have some life in this one. They got it back to 10. Then it started raining three-pointers. Danny Gonzalez hits one from deep. Then from the other side, from way behind the arc, buries that one. And now the Titans are feeling good. They're feeling pumped up, chest bumping each other. Meanwhile, the Patriots are missing a few easy shots. A lot of easy shots. And that's opening the door. Now it's only a 5-point game in the third. Here's where the Titans really start to play some defense. Gonzalez all over this Patriot. Makes him turn the ball over. And at the end of the third, well, you start thinking maybe. Then Jeezy buries one from 3 and gets the crowd into it. Jeezy steals one, and he finds Jovanovic in the corner, and the big man nails it. I love when the big guys make those long threes, and he's feeling it. He's pumped up. He's jumping all over the place. And now, the home team, they're up by 1. The Titans are up by 1, the first lead they've had since the first quarter. And there's Michael just crossing up his opponent, steps back, and mira, bam, buries the 3. He's feeling it. The whole crowd's behind him. The gym's about to erupt. He's like, crosses his guy over again, breaks his ankles, goes to the hoop with the left hand. And now he's really pumped up. But Florida Christian's not going away. Jermaine puts one back in and gives his team the lead by 1. Another score for the Patriots. And here comes Jeezy. And who's he going to give it to? The hottest guy in the building, Michael Villamne. And he buries one. And now he's got the whole crowd and everybody pumped up. The home team up by 2. After a basket and a foul, Olup is on the line in a tie game. He makes the first one. Florida Christian coach wants him to make this one, but he misses that one. With 11 seconds left to play, Boozy Swan comes up with a rebound. He drives in, draws the defense, kicks it out to Mayea, who misses. Victor gets the rebound, and who do you think he gives it to? The hottest guy in the building, Michael Villamne. And Villamne, with ice water in the veins, just steps back behind the line, behind every line except the out-of-bounds line. And he drills it. He goes crazy. He does 2 laps of the gym. And the Titans end up winning 66-64 in the best game that I've seen so far this year. Congratulations, Titans. Wow, Coach, what a game. I mean, what are your thoughts on that game? And what do you tell your team when you're down by 10 points at home? What goes on in that locker room?
Well, I mean, I feel small battles win wars. So you got to chip away. You got to worry about what's in front of you and forget what's behind you and chip away. Try to get some easy buckets on your plays and try to get some tip balls and some momentum swingers. And as you chip away, you want to win that third quarter and try to feel great momentum going into the fourth.
Let's take a look at the rest of the scores from games on Wednesday, and then we'll break down our second game, which is the Belém Wolverines against Schoolhouse Prep. These are the recap games for Wednesday, December 3rd. LaSalle beat Mater Bay Academy by 6. Their next game will be Friday against Mater Brickell Academy. And the next game for Mater Bay will be against Gulf Coast on Friday. And I'm just getting word that they lost that game 63-49. Gulliver Prep took care of Cushman. Cushman will play next on Saturday against North Miami Beach. And on Thursday, Nova University beat Gulliver Prep 64-31. Nico Leal led the way for the Raiders with 17 points, and it was Easton McCarthy-Levy with 8 rebounds. Doral Academy improved to 4-2 on the season. They beat Terra by 22 points. Terra loses on Thursday to Jackson 62-38. And Doral beat Coral Park 48-39 on Friday. And they'll play next Wednesday against Forges Academy. Miami Country Day beat Somerset. This is Somerset from Pembroke Pines. Miami Country Day will play Miami Beach on Friday. And next Wednesday, they're at Miami Christian. And Somerset Academy will play Nova on Friday. For Miami Country Day, it was Miguel Orby with 25 points and Caleb Corbett with 5 rebounds in the win for Miami Country Day. Here's a battle of 2 state champions from Broward County. Sagemont Prep beat Stranahan by 10 points. Stranahan played Western on Friday, and they beat them 81-59. And Sagemont Prep played Cohia and beat them 98-58. They'll play Miramar Tuesday next week. Stranahan will play Cavalry Christian, another state champion, on Wednesday. Somerset beat Carroll City to remain undefeated. The Chiefs dropped to 1-5 on the season, and they'll have Norland on Friday. Meanwhile, the next game for Somerset was on Friday, and they beat Central on the road 63-31. They'll play Miami Christian on Monday. The Falcons of Palmer Trinity even their season record to 2-2 by beating the Pioneers of North Miami. North Miami will play Westland Hialeah on Thursday, and Palmer Trinity will play Hebrew Academy on Monday. It was Teo Sucarini that led the way with 22 points for the Falcons. Calando Joseph had 20 for the Pioneers. Both Teo and Calando had double-doubles in this game. Teo had 14 boards, and Calando Joseph had 10 rebounds. Dade Christian beat Monsignor Pace on Wednesday to remain undefeated, and then they played Archbishop Carroll on Friday and beat them 73-55. Monsignor Pace did bounce back against Marathon on Friday and beat them 83-78. Let's recap Wednesday night's game between the Schoolhouse Prep Wolfpack and the home team, the Belém Jesuit Wolverines. The Wolverines of Belém started this game off with some really aggressive and hard guard play. Here's Alec Arnold with a bucket. Some nice passing, another bucket from their guard. Now Belém starting to play a little bit of defense here in the first period. They get a turnover. And there's Arnold again with some more points off of the turnover. And that was the theme. Belém taking advantage of the Schoolhouse Prep mistakes early in this one. The Schoolhouse came out to play, and they can play some defense of their own. Here's Rios with a steal. And they find Hartley in the corner, and he buries that one. And he's keeping Wolfpack in this one. Another steal by Hartley. And now Schoolhouse is only down by 2. But Belém pops a 3. Eddie Rios answers with a 3 of his own. And after the first period, it's only a 4-point game. But Belém answers back. Every time Schoolhouse made a run, Belém would have an answer. Here's a nice touch from a three-pointer. And Belém answers back with a 3 of their own. Some more easy buckets and a slamma-jamma. And here's a 3. And now Belém is starting to open up a little lead, forcing Schoolhouse to come inside for some tough points. There's Arnhold again. And here's some more points off of the defense for Belém. And they've opened up a little bit of a lead. And at halftime, Beleng is up by 8. Schoolhouse comes out firing. Here's Hartley with a three-pointer, and he's feeling it. He's like, yeah, and he's got it down to 1 point. But every time Schoolhouse got close, Beleng would pop in a heartbreaker 3, play some more defense, get some points off turnovers. And now they've opened up that 1 point lead. Here's another heartbreaker 3 from the corner. Schoolhouse Prep answered back, and now it's a 10-point game going into the fourth quarter. Hartley doing what he can off the glass. Nice touch there. And just when you thought Schoolhouse had some momentum, boom, another heartbreaker 3. And then some defense and more points off the turnover. Schoolhouse tried to hang in there, burying some threes, but they were going to need a Hail Mary and a double reverse and a block punt in this one. Everything seemed to bounce Beleng's way. They'd miss a shot, they'd get a tip to put it back, and they would break Prep's heart. And Prep just started missing baskets. I mean, in close. And late in the game, you don't want to miss baskets. And that's all she wrote. Beleng had a lead going into the end, and it finished 77-62. And Beleng remains undefeated. Two good coaches. Great game in this one. You can watch it on FSPN. There's Coach Chachi saying he's number 1.
Thank you very much to Schoolhouse Prep.
1. Well, Coach, tell us what you thought about the Beleng game.
Well, Coach Chachi does a great job over there with his matchup zone and his transition offense. They got to an early start on them, and it was hard to take them away after that.
Yeah, a lot of points off of turnovers and a lot of clutch threes, especially when Schoolhouse was trying to come back.
Yeah.
And I call them heartbreaker threes. You know, you think you're there, and then they pull the stake out from under you. On next week's show, we'll recap the scores for the game that took place on Thursday and Friday. We just didn't have enough time because Friday I had to do the Doral Firebirds and the Coral Park game from the gym, and we tried to go live with the Wi-Fi and the signal messed up, and it was a nightmare. So I apologize to those people that, you know, they only got 34 minutes of the game. So when we come back, Coach, we're going to have the final segment. We're going to have the head coach of the Beleng Wolverines, Chachi Rodriguez. He's going to join us right here on Hoops 305. Remember to subscribe and follow us on Instagram. That's FSPN, Point Guard Club. And if you'd like, please donate to our GoFundMe page. And we'll be right back with the coach right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Hoops Talk 305, where we break down the weekly games on high school basketball in Miami-Dade and Broward County. And today we have a very special guest with us, our very first guest on Hoop Talk 305. And I could think of no one better to be our guest here than coach of the Beleng Wolverines, Chachi Rodriguez. Chachi, welcome to Hoops Talk, buddy. How are you doing?
Great, man. Thank you for having me.
Man, thanks for your time. It looks like you're having a good time. I want to jump in your pool back there.
I know you don't. It's probably cold.
It was a pleasure to meet you the other day. And before I didn't know who you were. And Coach Govea said, hey, we're going to have, and I thought he said Chichi Rodriguez. And I'm a golfer. So I'm like, great. We're going to have Chichi Rodriguez on here. We're going to break it up and talk a little bit about golf. But no, it's Chachi Rodriguez.
Yeah, that guy's much more famous than I.
Tell us about your journey and how you ended up as a head coach of the Beleng Wolverines. What's your journey like? I know you've been here for 35 years, so try to abbreviate it a little bit.
I started coaching right out of high school, and I got hurt. My boss my coach says, hey, if you're not going away, do you want to start coaching? Or do you want to help me out? I said, yes. And it's been history ever since. And I try to keep playing like everybody else with the dream. And the more I played basketball, the more I got hurt, and the more I got hurt, it was because as long as I was coaching, I was allowed to keep playing basketball. So I just kept coaching so I can keep playing basketball. Shortly after that, and then I got a head job at La Progresiva in 1995. It was my first head coach job. And from there, I went to Champagnat, won a state championship there in 2000. From Champagnat, I was an assistant coach at Miami-Dade Community College for a year. I coached at South Miami as an assistant coach for a year, and we went to the state championship and lost to Darius Washington Jr. And then I go to coach college basketball at Bemidji State University, it's a Division II school in northern Minnesota. I'm there for 10 months. It was really, really cold. Came back home so I could be next to my son. And I got a job at American Senior High School. It was really far from my house, but it was a great job. And I was there for 2 years, and I was lucky enough to get the job at Coral Reef, which was 3 miles from my house. I won a state championship there in 2009, and I stayed there till 2012, where I ended up going to Coral Gables High School. Was there for 4 years, and then I was lucky enough, my oldest son was at Belen, and I was lucky enough to get the job there, and the rest is history for now.
All right, let's get into what's been going on this season, this 2025 season with your team, the Belen Wolverines. Your team is currently 5-0, and you guys have put up 74 points or more in each game. What's the recipe for success so far, and what's your take on this season?
I returned 10 guys from last year's team and our 3 leading scorers. So it's a little easier to do that when you have that many returning players. I'm pretty lucky because that's always any coach's thing. And if you can return them and they're good, and our better player, our leading scorer was a sophomore last year. And it's just we've been very lucky. Our believe it or not, our main focus is defense. And then from that creates a lot of our offense. It creates a lot of our pace as well.
What you still have on the table here, you have a few competitive games. Let's talk about Monday's games because that's right on the horizon here. And you're facing off against Westwood Christian, and you know they have 2 of those big guys. How are you going to be able to cope with their length and their height?
Well, that's the thing. We can't. I've said it since I got here. Our style is sort of like different. We have to make everybody run because if we make it slow, then their big guys become a factor. Our tallest kid is 6'4". I've got 3 guys that are about 6'4". Everybody else is relatively small. So it's basically make it fast. If we have to go to a slow game, then their big guys become a factor. If we can make it fast, their big guys don't become a factor. So like this week is an interesting week. We play Westwood, who has 2 really big kids. Then we go on Friday to Bishop Verot in Fort Myers, and they've got 2 6'8" kids. Then we come back here, and then we play South Plantation, which always has a bunch of length. So this is a great week for us. A lot of challenges, a lot of height challenges, right? If we were playing a sport that didn't involve height, like baseball, maybe spectacular. But for us, it's an interesting part, and we've just enjoyed. Our strength is that we're small and quick, and we've got to keep to our strength.
All right, you mentioned baseball, and you know I'm a baseball guy. And I know you had one of my guys on your team last year, and that's Jake Cueto. We're lucky we got him now. But do you miss Jake? I mean, what he brought to the table?
Oh yeah. He was a great athlete, and he's a great basketball player too. And the great part about our school is that everybody gets a chance to, and this junior class specifically is very rich, not just at Belen, but I think it's very rich in our county. I think this junior class is very, very good, and at Belen it's very good. So the great part about Jakey going to baseball is that, you know, somebody steps away, it's somebody else's opportunity, and I think the guys have done very well with that opportunity.
All right, Coach, any other games or tournaments maybe that you have circled in your calendar that you're looking forward to, or you kind of just treat them all the same?
Well, I treat them all the same, pero there are games, like we're leaving to Tennessee to play in it's called the Alpha Invitational, Kingsport, Tennessee, and we're playing. Our first matchup is against Dorman High School, who's really, really good. It's a super competitive tournament. Super excited that we're in it. That's a big tournament. That's the 18th, 19th, and 20th of December. We come back and we jump into the Junior Orange Bowl, which is hosted at Belen this year. And our first matchup is against Westminster Christian. And if we're fortunate enough after that, the 2 teams that are in our brackets, that are in the bracket that are very, very good, are you know, Lakota West and St. John's. There's actually 3 out of town teams that are all very, very good. So those are the big highlights of tournaments for us. We're going to those, and again, I look at nothing past one game to the next. So for me, it's you know, Monday's the most important game of the year when that one's done. Friday's the most important game of the year when that one's done. Saturday's the most important game of the year. I'm lucky enough, I got a great staff.
Coach, tell me about your coaching staff, starting with Angel Caballero, JP Mendez, Jose Roca, and Casey Hall, and how much they mean to your team this year and every year.
So for me, I'm blessed. I think you're only as good as it says. It takes a village to raise a child. In the basketball world, it's the same, and you have to have good men around you. And I'm very fortunate that I do. Angel Caballero, JP are my head. They're like my varsity assistants. But then like Jose Roca Jr. is our JV coach. Casey Hall is our ninth grade coach, and then our middle school coach, his name is Javo Cruz. Those three last guys I mentioned, they do all of our scouts. So we assign them games. We get video. They break down film. They scout who we've got to play, and everybody. Like my mindset is only on one game at a time, but their mindsets are 2 to 3 games ahead. And I'm really lucky to have, guys that are willing to do all that and are very good at it.
Coach, what's it like coaching at Belém and being a part of that Belém culture? Because I see it on the back of everybody's shirts, a culture. What does that mean to you?
Oh, so for me, and it's great because the culture at Belém is really about men for others, right? And I think that's how my program is, starting from me and my coaches all the way down to the rest of our players. It's really our culture is, men for others. And I think our program pays that way when we play basketball. How are we going to create for somebody else? We've got a saying this year for our varsity guys. It's care about your teammate. And then if he's struggling, tap the bar like you would in the weight room. Tap the bar, help him just get it off the ground. Yeah. And if that's all you do is you tap the bar, somebody's having a bad day, you pump them up, you tap the bar, and all of a sudden we get past that level. And we're really lucky for that. And I think it's great because our school culture is about that.
All right, tell me a little bit about the administration, your athletic director, and how that plays into what your success is this year with the basketball team.
So we're really lucky. Our president is Father Guillermo Garcia Tuñón. They call him Father Willie. He's amazing. He's a super sports guy. And then our principal is Jose Roca Sr., who was our coach for 27 years. And when you have your principal as a coach and he understands the coaching world, that's amazing. And you can't have anything better to say than that. And then you have Laz, who's our athletic director, Lazaro Fernandez, who is an amazing man, who's the ultimate professional, loves our school, loves our program. And if there's ever anything that's got to be done, he wants it done 100%, to the T, very meticulous. And I think that's great because it helps build an amazing athletic program. And for me as a basketball coach, it's spectacular. You can have that type of support.
All right, Coach, I was fortunate the other night to see you play against Schoolhouse Prep, and I was really, really impressed by your guard play and by the defense. Are there any players that have surprised you this season, or any players that you just you mentioned, give them a shout out?
Well, there's our leading 3 scorers are the guys that put in tons of work, but there's a bunch of other guys. And it's the others that matter, right? So it's the guys like Lucas Baldor, who does a bunch of dirty work and he starts. Jivan Navarro, who comes in and starts. Adrian Diaz de Villegas, who's a baseball kid, who comes in and plays humongous minutes for us. Those guys are huge. And there's a guy, Lucas Hernandez, Felipe Ariza, Richie Blanco, who's coming off of a shoulder injury, comes in and gives us great minutes. Alejandro Bird, Samuel Hincapi. And it's great because, we're very, very deep. And everybody comes in and we don't really miss a beat. Somebody has a strength, and then whatever their strength is, we try to go towards that strength.
All right, Coach, I'm going to be there Monday to check out that Westwood Christian game. I can't wait for that. I want to wish you, from the bottom of my heart, I want to wish you the best of luck for the remainder of the season and everything that you guys do out there.
Thank you so much. That's great. I really appreciate it.
All right, now let's have some fun. Enough about basketball. We have a segment called the free throws, and it's where we ask you 3 questions that have absolutely nothing to do with basketball in our way for our viewers and your fans to get to know Coach Rodriguez a little bit better. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, is Coach Rodriguez a Starbucks guy, Dunkin' Donuts, or do you get your cafecito at the window?
Dunkin' Donuts all day.
You do the Dunkin' Donuts rather than the cafecito?
The
There you go.
cafecitos at 3:00.
Religiously. I think all over Dade County. All right. What do you get when you go there? What do you order? What's your favorite thing at Dunkin' Donuts?
My favorite thing is a medium coffee, no cream, and then I love chocolate glazed donuts. So when I'm not dieting, it's a chocolate glazed donut would be it, and maybe an everything bagel.
Okay. All right. Free throw number 2. When you're not coaching, and I know there's hardly any off season for you because you're doing AAU and you're coaching all over the place. I've heard great things about you. But when you do have a little bit of a break, what is Coach Rodriguez's favorite vacation destination and why?
Oof. Right here. That pool.
It looks good.
That pool right there is my destination. My favorite place in the world is here with my family. Every coach, what we give up the most is our family time. And every chance I get, I try to spend as much quality time at home as possible. So when I get the chance, if because it's also cheaper than going anywhere else. So,
you got everything you need. You got the rocks back there, waterfall. I see a jacuzzi back there, man. What'd you say? You live by Coral Reef? I'll be there in a few minutes. I love it. I love it. All right, final question, Coach, before we let you go. And I just want to say I appreciate your time and you're taking your time away from your family to be with us, and I really appreciate that. All right, this question everybody has to think about. What is your favorite restaurant, and what do you eat when you go there?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Tough.
Yeah, everybody gets stumped on that one because, you want to be political, but,
Tough,
So what if it was like your last meal type of thing? You're going into the electric chair tomorrow. What are you going to eat?
I love Italian food. So for me, there's a bunch of places that have great Italian food. My number 1 pizza spot is Vesuvio's on Kendall.
Okay.
But then there's also on Kendall Mike's Pizza, Marino's Pizza, and Two Brothers. Any one of those 4 places for me, amazing. And then if I have to get a really good lasagna, Amici's. Tough.
Good choice there. Good choice. All right, folks, there you have it. If you didn't know him before, you know him now. You can catch him at his pool, drinking Dunkin' Donuts and eating a pizza. And he's Coach Chachi Rodriguez of the Belém Wolverines. Coach, thank you for taking your time, and I wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks so much for having me. It was awesome.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. That's going to wrap it up here for this edition of Hoops Talk 305 on FSPN. You can find us right here every Sunday with a recap of the previous week's games. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. On behalf of my co-host, Coach Govea, I want to say so long, and I'll see you next time on Hoops Talk 305.